Hi guys, welcome back to Season 3, Episode 4 of the Blessed Mess Podcast. I'm your host, Maria Buskirk. Hi, welcome to the Blessed Mess Podcast. I'm your host, Maria Buskirk. In this podcast, we're going to be tackling the hard-hitting topics of being a Christian teenager or young adult in today's society. Guys, I have some exciting news about my current situation. I am officially done with my first year of college. We finished, by the time you're watching this, it'll be a week ago. And I'm just so excited to be done. Pretty much all of my friends are back home now, so that's awesome. And I'm just so excited for it to be finally summer. Guys, last Sunday, on Mother's Day, I went home. The UV here was like 9. It was a really hot day, and all my mom wanted to do for Mother's Day throughout the afternoon, because we were going to go to my grandma and grandpa's later that night, was to just lay out and tan. So I'm like, girl, I got you. I need to tan too. I'm sold. So that's what we did. We went outside and we tanned. Well, sort of. We sort of tanned. It's just now starting to turn into a tan, but I got burnt to an absolute crisp. Guys, if you guys watch this, if you're watching on YouTube or on Spotify, you can watch it on Spotify. I'm going to put a little bit, like a little clip right here to show how burnt I was. My face was starting to blister a little bit. It still is really dry on my nose. My legs have the most awkward tan line. Because I was wearing, wearing shorts, but I, hiked them up, and there's, a line for where the shorts were still on my legs, so I have a really weird tan line on my legs, and then I got really burnt on, my shoulders and my arms, and my chest. My chest was really burnt, too. So, yeah, I got absolutely burnt to a crisp, but it means it's going to turn into a tan, and it means that, summer's pretty much officially started at this point. I mean, I'm done with school. That's already, check 1. And I already got burnt, and I'm starting to tan now. So, check number 2, it's summertime now, and I'm so excited. But anyways, back to our topic at hand here. We are on episode 4, like I said, of season 3. I'm super excited. This specific, topic I'm really excited to talk about. I was kind of struggling with, sorry guys, I'm exhausted, I'm drinking an energy drink. I was having a hard time coming up with a topic for this week, and I really didn't know what to talk about. But whenever we had our young adult group for my church, this was something that was kind of brought up in conversation, and it's something, and then I kind of went in a little bit of a rabbit hole with this topic and broke it down a little bit to talk about. So I'm really excited for this one, because it's something that I've definitely had a hard time with, and I'll get into that, but I think it's something that as Christians we all struggle with in different ways. So let's get into it. I'm going to start off by saying, as humans, we love nothing more than being comfortable, right? So, for example, at work today, I went wearing this nice crew neck, this thin, cute crew neck, had my hair in these little buns, really cute, really easy to do, and I'm wearing flare leggings and comfy shoes. I love being comfortable. I would much rather relax in a comfy pair of sweatpants than a pair of skinny jeans, obviously, and I would hope everyone would say the same. And thinking of comfort in another way, we like to stick by our close friends rather than be around strangers, because it's so much more comfortable and easy to be around your friends, right? And thinking about when that comfort feels not quite there, thinking of when we have to handle changes in our routines or changes in our life, there can cause some discomfort because it's different. It's not that comfortability, familiarity anymore. It's different, and it might lead us to be a little more uncomfortable. And I feel like whenever we get comfortable in any case, we never really want to disturb that, right? Thinking of like whenever I'm going to bed at night and I get in like a really nice position, like my pillows are set up like just perfectly, so I just feel this like perfect like position I'm super comfortable in. I don't want to do anything to like screw up how comfortable I am and like mess up my pillows and mess up my bed or whatever. I want to stay in that comfortable position because I know I'm going to get great sleep if I'm very relaxed and comfortable, right? So I think it's so easy to want to stay in that comfortability, right? Maybe you're someone in your day-to-day life, you hate stepping out of your comfort zone, right? It can totally freak you out, psych you out, throw you off for the whole day if you have to step outside of your comfort zone, right? You might have those walls go up and you're just not vibing with it. You don't want to do it, right? You could be that person. I am that person. I do not like to step outside my comfort zone. I like the constant kind of steady pace of everything, right? I don't like when things get switched up. I don't like having to do something that I haven't thought about or processed to its core because it makes me uncomfortable, right? I've been talking about this a lot with one of my friends. If you know anything about Enneagrams, which I should do an episode about Enneagrams. I was thinking about that earlier this week. If you know anything about Enneagrams, I'm an Enneagram 9, which is a peacemaker, and I hate conflict or discord in any way. So I have a hard time, and I feel very uncomfortable in confrontation, arguments. I have a hard time speaking my mind. And, oh, hello, Tucker. Hi. I have a hard time vocalizing my opinions, speaking my mind, because there could be that fear of discord or argument or whatever, confrontation. So stepping outside of my comfort zone is vocalizing and confronting something. That's something that's super out of my comfort zone. So I'm not one to enjoy stepping out of my comfort zone. But you might be, instead of being someone that hates stepping out of your comfort zone, you might be someone that loves the feeling of trying something new, unknown, completely out of your comfort zone. It might give you a sense of thrill, right? There are definitely people, I think I relate to, like, if you think of like type 7 for Enneagrams, you are probably one that would fit into this category. You love the feeling of trying something new, unknown to you, and stepping out of your comfort zone to try it. Regardless of what category you fall under, I think we all have been guilty of falling into this little bubble of our comfort zone and not wanting to leave it, right? And I think this is especially true in our walk with Christ. I think there are plenty of times where it's easy for me to step out of my comfort zone when meeting new people, trying new things. There's a lot of things where I can easily step out of my comfort zone, but I think something that most people in their walk with Christ struggle with is stepping out of your comfort zone to talk to those who might not be saved, to vocalize that. I think no matter how outgoing or how timid you are, that's something that no matter what, you've probably struggled with before or will struggle with, because let's face it, it can be very intimidating because you're approaching someone there, you don't know any of their beliefs. Maybe you might actually do know their beliefs, but it could be completely different from yours, or they could make fun of you, shut you down. You know, any of these really scary type of scenarios could happen when you're doing that or approaching this person. So I think it's very common for us as Christ followers to be a little hesitant to step out of our comfort zone to share the gospel or tell someone about Jesus. I think a lot of the times we can get so comfortable knowing that we are saved that we forget about all the people in our lives who aren't saved. We might literally just forget about it because we think like, oh, I'm saved. Thank you, Jesus, that I'm saved. But then Timmy down the street doesn't know Jesus at all, and you're just like, oh, whatever. We can get so comfortable that we don't understand the gravity of it. That you could, God forbid, die and go to heaven tomorrow, be in paradise, and Timmy down the street won't be. Can you live with that? Can you stay comfortable? Is staying comfortable above that? Think about that. If that's kind of where your comfort is stepping in, feel that tension. Feel it. So I think there's that side of it where you're so kind of blinded by your own stuff that you don't even realize you're saved, yes, but someone else isn't. Or you can look at it from another angle where you could acknowledge that Timmy down the street doesn't know Jesus, but your fear, instead of lack of caring, steps in. Instead, it's your fear. You are so worried about what they're going to respond with and how they're going to respond to you that you would rather just not try because of that fear that you have. And then they're not going to be saved. They're not going to have a relationship with Jesus because of your fear stepping in. Because you were too scared to step out of your comfort zone and approach them. I mean, looking at Mark 16:15, it says, Jesus said to them, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation." In our walk with Christ, it can be so easy for us to neglect the gifts that God has blessed us with and to forget to have gratitude for that. We disregard the things that Christ endured for us on a cross. We take our salvation for granted and grow comfortable with it and almost desensitize all of it. Or we get so comfortable that we not only desensitize it, we become entitled with it. We gain a sense of entitlement and almost think that that's what we do deserve, which is not. We don't deserve that. We don't deserve the love that Jesus gives us, ever. We are sinners to our core, and we do not deserve the mercy and the grace that God gives us every single day, and we do not deserve the mercy and grace of Jesus dying on a cross, not just for my sins, not just for your mom's sins, not just for your dad's sins, not just for your brother's sins, for your sins, for everyone's sins, but yours specifically. We neglect it. We grow comfortable with that feeling. We desensitize it. And then we get comfortable with talking about it. It becomes so desensitized that it lacks a sense of importance to us. In a way. We get so comfortable in our faith journey that we lose the sense of gratitude we should have. And I think we lose sight of the fact that Timmy down the street who doesn't know Jesus could have easily been us. I think it's so easy for us to just take our salvation for granted and lose the gratitude of it, that we forget we could have easily wound up just like Timmy down the street did and go your whole life without knowing Jesus because no one made that impact on you. Right? So kind of flip it too. I think it's important to flip it and be in their shoes of not knowing anything about Jesus, and they're just waiting for that moment, that spark, because they don't know. Whatever your setback may be for growing complacent or comfortable in your faith, we need to remember that we have a great commission as Christ followers to go out and tell people about Jesus. It's not like we have to hit some quota and then just be like, I did my time, That's something that we need to constantly strive for more of. To tell people about Jesus. If you read James 2:26 specifically, he says, as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. So, hear me on this, don't lose me. Your deeds don't get you into heaven, right? But faith without deeds is dead. You can't just go your whole life saying, yeah, I believe in Jesus. This is a walk in the park, and it won't be. I'm sorry. It's not just a walk in the park just because you're a Christian. Some people I have had to learn that the hard way, and most people will if they believe that. Faith without deeds is dead. You can't just stay complacent in knowing you're saved, but let everyone else fight their own battles on their own and figure it out on their own. There was a moment at my church camp last year that absolutely rocked me to my core. And I think it rocked a lot of people. I'm pretty sure it was last year. Yeah, it was. We had one of our campus pastors at our church do a message in the morning, one of our messages, and he kind of talked about this, and he used a really good analogy by saying, imagine us as Christ followers, we're all in this boat. We're all in this boat. The waves might be rocking all over the place, and the outside the boat is the world, right? We're in this safe boat. Very safe, not in the water. Completely stable in this boat, right? And there are people out in the water who don't know Jesus, and they're drowning. They're out there drowning, fighting for their lives out there. Us in the boat, we're already safe, and we have these life jackets, right, that we're holding on to. We can use these life jackets to help others who are drowning out there and then bring them onto the boat with us, and they can do the same. How selfish is it for us to be completely safe in the boat, no fear, nothing wrong with us, nothing's going to happen to us in this boat, and we can see these people out in the water drowning, but we're holding on to these life vests and doing nothing for them? It's selfish, and it's I think he described it as being like savage. He literally said it's savage to do that. Now, instead of this being all about life jackets, life vests, imagine we have the answers to tell someone how to be saved. We have the answers. We have the knowledge of telling these people drowning out there. We have the cure to be saved, to be safe in our hands, and we can tell them about it. We can give that to them. We can gift them this life jacket, this this knowledge of how to be saved, but instead we're too scared and we're holding on to it. Or we're too comfortable in our safe little boat to let that go. We don't see the people drowning out there. It's savage. I think something a lot of us say to excuse this behavior of growing complacent and not telling people about Jesus and ignoring the Great Commission we have is, which I've been guilty of this too, is thinking that we have all the time in the world to tell this person about Jesus. We have all the time in the world to reach that person and tell them. But we don't know how much time we have, how much time they have. We don't know. We don't know when the time is coming for anything. Only God does. And so it's kind of dumb for us to be like, oh, I can just talk to them tomorrow, next week, whenever I'm free next, whatever. Because we don't know. We could, again, God forbid, I could die tomorrow. My friend Timmy, who doesn't know Jesus down the street, could die tomorrow, God forbid. And I would be tricking myself into saying, oh, I have all this time in the world, but I don't know that for sure. I don't know that. So why not just act on it now? If you get that pull, that conviction, that feeling, that tug on your heart that you need to go tell them about Jesus, don't just brush it off and say, oh, next time. That's the Holy Spirit guiding you. Go talk to them. Go tell them about Jesus. The time is now. If you feel that conviction, that Holy Spirit guiding you, go tell them now. Because who knows? We don't know when our time's coming. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes. Don't use this, I have all this time in the world, as an excuse, because you don't. You don't know that. Life is short. It's valuable. It's precious. And we shouldn't be taking any of it for granted, because you never know. And that brings me to my next point. You may be confident that you are saved. You might be very confident in your salvation. And you might be really excited to spend all eternity in paradise with Jesus. But take a step back and think, how are you spending your time here? Yes, you have all of eternity to spend in heaven with Jesus. You have all the time in the world. But you only have a limited time here. How are you using it to reflect God's glory? How are you using it to bring more people to Jesus? Your time here is very short and precious and valuable. How are you going to use that to reflect your time with Jesus in eternity? Your time with Jesus in heaven for eternity. Are you going to use this time on earth to grow with God and learn more about Him and His character? And are you going to grow and live your life more like Jesus because of it? Are you going to tell others about Jesus and how He changed your life and grow God's kingdom? Or are you going to stay in your comfort zone and grow complacent? Choice is yours. You only have so much time. Now, thinking of your comfort zone, what are some things that cause us to stay in our comfort zone? Well, I know we touched on just kind of neglecting things and not really realizing that we've been stuck in our comfort zone. But I think a big part of it, especially in our faith walk, is we may get scared of what others will think of us. And I have a perfect verse. This could go really well with my people-pleasing episode, but for some reason I didn't mention it. And then I was talking with Claire, my friend. She's like, I was waiting the whole time for you to use this verse, and I never did, and I completely forgot about it. But it's one of my favorites, so I don't know how I didn't put it down, but It's Galatians 1:10. Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. So when you are scared of what others will think of you and you're staying in your comfort zone because of it, instead of using your gifts that God blessed you with to grow his kingdom, just think, no matter what someone thinks of you, you are a child of God, and he made you with beautiful gifts to do exactly what you're scared to do. Tell people about him. Because ultimately, it doesn't matter their approval. There is a chance that they might react badly. That's always a possibility. But there's also a possibility that you could lead them to a life devoted to Christ. Are you going to let your fear get in the way of that possibility? Whose approval are you seeking? Now, other than being scared of what others will think of us, a lot of it could also, of reasons of why we would stay in our comfort zone, could also go into us maybe not feeling like it. We might not feel like it. We don't want to. We're just not in the mood. Well, one thing I have to tell you is you're not always going to feel like it. You're not always going to feel it. But our emotions aren't factual. Our emotions aren't based in truth. We know what's our truth. And that's strictly from the Bible. It's whatever God tells us. That's our truth. Our emotions aren't our truth. And when we go into not feeling it, a lot of times when I feel the most distant from God is when I'm not taking those steps daily to build a relationship with him. He's still there. He didn't move at all. It was me who moved. Our flesh wants us to spend our afternoons doom scrolling on Instagram, binge watching Netflix, and filling our minds with any kind of distractions you could think of. That's what our flesh wants from us. Because suddenly we won't feel God so close to us anymore. And that feeling can turn into complacency, and the more you feed into it, the more you get that distance. And that's exactly what the enemy wants from us. So whenever you start to notice God feeling further away, it's not that he moved away from you, it's that you moved away from him because you weren't prioritizing him. And be careful with that, because then that's how that complacency and that comfortability comes into play. And suddenly we don't feel like it. The enemy wants you to stay in that comfort zone because you can't reach people when you're in your comfort zone. What you got to remember, though, is that we are not called to stay in our comfort zone. We're called to be set apart. Don't grow complacent. 1 Peter 2:9. But you are the chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. Don't grow comfortable, because there's a world of people out there who don't know Jesus, and it's up to us to tell them. Don't grow comfortable. Because it's not always about us, okay? Let me shout it for everyone. Shout it for the people in the back. It's not always about us. We might not always feel like it. We might not want to face that fear of jumping out of our comfort zone. But guess what? It's not about us. It's not always about you. It's not always about me. So try and step out of your comfort zone. Not for yourself always, but because it can make a huge impact on someone else. And just think about going to paradise, going to heaven someday, and being able to spend eternity with that person you're thinking of who might not know Jesus, being able to spend eternity with them because you stepped out of your comfort zone to meet them and tell them about Jesus. Step out of your comfort zone. That's all I gotta say. And with that, that is all I have for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like I said, I was really excited to do this one. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys for a new episode next week.